Hello Ji, welcome to the next video of environments. In this, I am going to give us some tips. So in last video, we have learned about environment variables and collection level variables. And we have stored variable like this. So here we have stored global variables and those are referred as an environment variable. And we have stored data in terms of a URL. So initial value and current value, we have set the URL and we have passed the same data. And this we have discussed what is the initial value and what is the current value. I'll give you a quick summary. Initial value means if I am setting an initial value, then it is shared with a entire team member. But current value is only specific to particular machine. So if I am passing any value as an initial value, then those data will be shared across all the machines. Now the question is, if I am working on my own credential and I don't want to share my credential with my colleagues because I am working on a dedicated user and they are also having a dedicated user. So every time if someone makes some changes, then this data will compromise in all the machines. So what we can do is, instead of passing here some initial value, we can just mention please add your URL. We are not going to add a URL. If someone wants to use this collection, then they have to use their own URL. And if I go to again any test and if I run the test, so here we can see we can run the test without initial value, which means data is coming from a current value. If I remove the current value, I'm going to again this and I'm removing a current value and then I'm saving a collection, and if I run this, then you can see we are not able to execute this API. It is saying get some error is found, and we can view in a console, and this is the error. Basically if I expand this, so here we can see the runtime error, and it is saying get add info and URL API. So there is some error with the API here. It is not able to find the basically URL. So that is an error. Now if I wanted to export this collection, and how it is going to look if I'm not passing any initial value and I'm exporting a collection. Let me export this. I'm going to store on a downloads folder, save. The collection is exported, and if I open this collection, see I have opened the collection here. So now you can see please add your URL here, and it is not with this file URL is not exported because we have stored with the current value and current values are not being exported. So that we understood. Now there is one more thing which is a secret. So secret means, let's say I wanted to give a demo to client or someone else that I have developed the API and I don't want to share a token. So if I simply mention as a secret, so this will convert it into a like a password signature ... So in a encrypted format, no one can read the data on my screen, but this data still being exported. So if I again make to the default and I add some value here, test URL, like test URL, and I save this and I'm making as a secret. So now I cannot see on a screen, but if I export this collection, export, save, replace, we have override this data. See here we can see the value is test URL. Still we can see the value in exported data, and it is saying a type is a secret. We have stored as a secret, but still someone can see the data. So secret means the data is not visible on a screen, but if you don't want to share a data, then we can make it as a default or secret. It doesn't make sense, but still we have to avoid adding value with the initial value. So I hope this is clear. This was a small tip about environment and collection level variables. Thank you so much.